Hello YouTubers, this is Cessna Ace back again with another VideoDisc ads video, this time concentrating on the VHD and LaserDisc formats. All of the VHDs naturally came from Japan because that was the only country the VHD format was released in, and some of the LaserDiscs came from Japan. I'm going to start with the VHD format because it's been a while since I last showed any VHDs. This first one, I spot checked all three of these and they play perfectly. But this first one I watched in its entirety. It's a French film. It retains its French language track and has Japanese subtitles, but I was able to follow it okay. For some strange reason, the cover caught my eye. I believe this film originally came out in '66 or '67. But as I stated, the picture quality of this disc is stunning. Okay. As is usually the case with VHDs and Japanese release LaserDiscs, there are inserts. Well, there's an insert for this one. A reproduction of the cover in black and white with Japanese text underneath and on the back. Now, I'm going to show you the label on the caddy because it's a little unusual. All the other caddies I've run across have had rather plain labels on them, but this one is rather colorful. Now they continue the practice of giving you the running time for each side. Side 1 runs 56 minutes 0 seconds, side 2 43 minutes 43 seconds. Now they give the catalog number here, ODG-1090, but also a separate catalog number for each side, ODG-1090-1 and -2, and then on the back. If you're not familiar with this format, but are familiar with the CED format, they're both capacitance disc formats, but this format is vastly superior. No grooves, no skipping, and as old as some of these discs are, they play perfectly. And like I said, this one is stunning. But it had me wishing I understood French. We're kind of a weird family. My youngest daughter is studying Japanese. My eldest daughter is becoming quite fluent in Spanish. My wife speaks French as a second language. And I'm studying German and Japanese and French and Latin. Figure if I'm going to fail, I might as well do it big. Okay, this is Victor release. I already told you. Okay, this next one is a French film also. And if you thought that cover was stunning, this one is even more stunning. I like it because it's not a photo, it's a painting. Although, well, I'll show it to you. As I said, this is a French film from 1961, I think. If I'm not mistaken, the English language title for this film is And God Created Woman, and from what little French I know, that seems to bear out from the title there. Notice how they carefully placed each strand of red hair that passed the Japanese censors. But those are my favorite kind of covers, whether they're LaserDisc or any other format. Painted covers rather than just photos. This is your typical label on a VHD caddy. VHB-78010. No, I didn't think of doing that before. It's much easier to see. Single-sided insert, but it opens up. Even if I didn't collect the VHD format, which I do, because I have a VHD player, I would buy this one just to have that cover. Now they're still finding previously unknown VHD releases. I'm hoping they'll find the previously unknown 3D release, because I have a 3D player and I have the 3D headgear. There are only 22 known 3D titles, although one is Alfred Hitchcock's last film. It's in 3D. And there was some porn released on VHD in 3D. But I don't know why my mind went there. But anyway, I'm hoping they'll come across some more 3D titles, but I'm not holding my breath on that. But they're still finding titles all the time, just like they're still finding titles that were previously unknown for the LaserDisc format and also for HD DVD. They're not finding too many digital VHS releases anymore. They still occasionally find one, but really strange. Digital VHS was released, well, developed by JVC, and the only pre-records known to exist are in America. Apparently there weren't any pre-records anywhere else. Okay, this next VHD release is an American made-for-TV movie. But I was rather surprised when I looked it up on IMDb to find out that this was released theatrically in a lot of countries, including Japan. But I guess it makes sense because at the time, Star Wars was huge. This is one of two made-for-TV movies that take place in roughly the same era, and that is between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. This features in the cast Warwick Davis. See? As I stated, this was released theatrically in Japan and a lot of other countries. But here it's just a plain old made-for-TV movie. The other made-for-TV movie, Star Wars, was released on VHD as well, but I didn't get it because I was already well into the triple digits with the VHDs and the LaserDiscs that I was getting. Front, back, and the interior. Now the caddy on this one is black. Can't make that out so well. It's Victor release VHP 78328, licensed from CBS Fox Video. It'd be great if this format were still around because there's so much being produced in 3D now. And what's cool about the VHD format is, say you were to buy a 3D version of a movie. They came out with 2D versions also because the earliest players did not have 3D mode. But take a 3D disc, this one's not, but take a 3D disc and put it in a player that's only 2D, plays just fine. And the format was developed so that it doesn't matter whether the disc or the player are NTSC or PAL or CCAM or whatever, everything is compatible. This is release VHP 78328, if I didn't already say. Okay, now for the LaserDisc. I'm going to show them in alphabetical order, although I'm going to start with the letter V because I've had this one for a long time, but I haven't been able to show it because it starts with the letter V, which is near the end of the alphabet. Now, I used to have a copy of this LaserDisc, but it was really, really, really bad. It had the worst case of oxidation I'd ever seen, or what some LaserDisc collectors refer to as LaserDisc cancer. Horrible. I eventually broke it in half and threw it away, but I kept the jacket in case I found another copy. The disc was fine, but the jacket was messed up. But then I happened to come across a factory sealed copy, and it's going to stay factory sealed because ignorance is bliss. If I don't know it's defective, then it's not. The Virgin Queen of St. Francis High. Released by Image Entertainment under license from Media Home Entertainment. Made by, you guessed it, PDO UK. This is release, Image Entertainment release ID 5273ME for media. Okay, now this next one is a really good war movie. I have it on DVD, letterbox obviously. I even have this LaserDisc release, this exact same release. But what the hey, it was there. It was only $3, and periodically people contact me through YouTube or whatever, Facebook, and they offered to trade their duplicates for my duplicates. So that's fine. I'm a collector, I don't sell, but I will trade. Anyway, this is called A Bridge Too Far. It has an all-star cast. This uses a gatefold jacket. Featured in the cast are two German actors who became quite popular in the US, which at the time they became popular, that was quite unusual because memories of the war were still strong. Okay, this stars Dirk Beauregard, James Caan, Michael Caine, Sean Connery, Edward Fox, Elliot Gould, Gene Hackman, Anthony Hopkins, Hardy Kruger. He played the German in the original version of The Flight of the Phoenix, an excellent film, which also co-starred Richard Attenborough, who directed A Bridge Too Far. Laurence Olivier, Ryan O'Neal, Robert Redford, and this is the other German actor I was referring to, Maximilian Schell. I believe he died recently too. And Lee Volman. I was really bummed when I found out that Hardy Kruger had died because I was a big fan of his as far as his work was concerned. This is MGM UA release ML101859. He was also in the John Wayne movie, Atari. And he fell in love with Africa and wound up moving there and became quite popular with the local population there. He was also in the Stanley Kubrick film Barry Lyndon, if I'm not mistaken. I've been trying to get a copy of that movie for a long time, and I haven't gotten around to it. But I have been finding so many movies on DVD that I have been dying to have seen released on DVD or even home video. Something I've been looking for on home video in any format, and I haven't found them. But now, because of the whole MOD thing, made on demand, there are so many titles that are being offered now that were previously unavailable that it's been like a godsend. Like Warner Archive. Warner Archive, I believe, was the first one to offer MODs. And it's good for them because they get to generate revenue from titles they normally wouldn't release because they wouldn't have a market for them. Not that many people would buy them, but there is a market for them to some degree. So every Tuesday, I think it is, Warner Archive comes out with new MODs for DVD and Blu-ray. Sony has their own MOD service. MGM/Fox does. I say MGM/Fox because Fox distributes MGM titles. And if I didn't already mention it, Sony. And I found another company the other day while searching the internet that sells MODs. And I found a film I've been looking for a long, long time on DVD. So I'm going to be getting that. I've got 50 DVD Blu-ray ads I need to show, and I've got more coming. And yesterday I got 2 DVDs and 2 Video 2000 tapes. So anyway, now on with the show. When I bought this out at the flea market for $3, I thought I was buying an upgrade. That is, buying a copy of something I already had a copy of on LaserDisc, but in better condition. But when I got home, I couldn't find it. Went online, went to the LaserDisc Database, looked up Cessna Ace, and this wasn't in my collection. So I guess it's a good thing I bought it. This is Broken Arrow. Not sealed, but still has its shrink wrap on it. THX certified in widescreen. Originally sold for $39.99. Like I said, I paid $3 for it. Fox like to confuse people. Like right here, they say 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment, but on the spine it says Fox Video. Sometimes you would see on their LaserDisc the 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment logo, and then right beside it either Fox Video or CBS Fox Video. Either they were trying to confuse people or they couldn't make up their mind which one they wanted to use. Okay, this is Fox Video release 0896385. Aspect ratio 2.35 to 1. That is genuine widescreen. Okay, this is another one that I bought that having it in my mind that I already had a copy of it, and I did already have a copy of it, which is open, but this one is sealed. Congo. THX certified. Letterboxed. And also AC3 Dolby Digital encoded. It's an early version of Dolby Digital 5.1. I've even got some UK released DVDs that are AC3 encoded. How strange is that? Anyway, this is Paramount Home Video release LV33038-WS. Now this next one stirred up a bit of controversy or controversy depending on where you live. When I went to the LaserDisc Database, because the title was already in there, but not this release. It had a different catalog number. Not only that, when I submitted photos of it to prove that it existed, the information I had was wrong. I had bought it from Rico Banchow, and I already had volumes 1 and 2, and they said this was volume 3, but it's not. It's volume 5. And Julian was able to verify that because, in addition to French and English and everything else, he is fluent in Japanese. Now, there was a lot of Hanna-Barbera released on LaserDisc, both in the US and in Japan, but in Japan there seems to have been a ton of it, whereas in the Netherlands it appears that their favorite studio was Filmation, because there was a ton of Filmation titles released on LaserDisc in the Netherlands. But be that as it may, this title was issued, and then it was reissued, and then it was reissued as part of a box set. This is the first reissue, if that makes any sense. It has a different cover than the original issue, different catalog number, and so forth. Now, there was a very popular Hanna-Barbera series called Wacky Races. I have some of those volumes on Japanese LaserDisc. I have the entire series on a US release DVD box set. But that series spawned a number of spin-offs. One of them being Dastardly and Muttley. Now, I've got volumes 1 and 2. This is a reissue of volume 5. I'm not going to bother taking it out, but it has a full color insert that reproduces the cover exactly, except there's no text. Okay, this is Columbia VideoDisc release COLC-3058, made by Nippon Columbia. Every Columbia VideoDisc release I have was made by Nippon Columbia. Somebody, I don't remember who it was, at the LaserDisc Database asked me for my opinion of Nippon Columbia. And what I told them was, basically, what I knew, which was, I have quite a few Columbia video discs, so I have quite a few that were made by Nippon Columbia, and none of them are defective. So there's that. Now, this is another duplicate. I knew I already had this one, but this is a slight jacket upgrade, if you know what I mean. And when I show you the front, you're not going to believe it was released by a subsidiary of Disney, but it was. Exotica. That subsidiary being Miramax, which they have since divested themselves of, but they still own the Miramax at this point. I know because it has a Disney catalog number. Siskel Niebert. Too enthusiastic. Thumbs up. Aspect ratio 1.66 to 1, which explains why it says letterbox is not widescreen, because that's not very wide. This is Miramax Home Entertainment Release 4704AS. That is a Disney catalog number. Okay. Now, in addition to Dastardly and Muttley, Wacky Races had other spin-off series, one of which was The Perils of Penelope Pitstop, which I've seen at Rico Banchow. I just have never bought any of the volumes. And then there was another series I didn't know existed. It is an obscure series called Wake, Rattle, and Roll. And it was comprised of, I believe, 3 cartoons. And one of the cartoons in each episode featured Dastardly and Muttley. And that segment, those cartoons, were referred to as Fender Bender 500. If I remember correctly, and I may not be, this is Fender Bender Volume 1. This too has a color insert which reproduces exactly the front cover minus text. Okay, this is Columbia VideoDisc release COLC-3150. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, and who knows, maybe I am, this is volume 2 of Fender Bender 500. This is Columbia VideoDisc release COLC-3151. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is Fender Bender Volume 3, Fender Bender 500 Volume 3. When I placed this order, I spent so much money. As you know, it's expensive shipping from Japan. Did I already say that? I can't remember. This is Columbia VideoDisc release COLC-3152. Now, with Japanese LaserDisc, something I've noticed is with live action, they usually will retain the original language track and add Japanese subtitles. But on animated programming, they dub it into Japanese. Or sometimes even offer both options, the option of the original language track and Japanese dub. But it makes sense why they do that, because these are aimed at kids, and kids are still learning their characters. So it makes sense to me, anyway. Okay, this is not a duplicate of any kind, but I don't know why I bought it, other than the fact that it was there and it was $3. The guy who owns Yesterday and Today out at the flea market, I told you he's up to around 2,000 LaserDisc. He told me the last time I went in there, he's got his eyes set on another collection. So that will be expanding soon. This is called the Flamingo Kid. This was released by Vestron Video. I have some Japanese LaserDiscs that were released by Vestron Video International, or at least licensed from them. This is Vestron Video Release VL5072. How are we doing for time? I don't want to go over too far over 30 minutes anyway, because it takes too long to upload and I run the risk of boring you all silly and you leaving. If I remember correctly, this one says on it, manufactured for Discovision Associates. Yep. 1981, manufactured by Discovision Associates for NFL Films. Has its original shrink wrap on it. And both sides are in CAV for full functionality. Football Follies and Sensational 60s. Football Follies is on one side, Sensational 60s is on the other. Football Follies runs 21 minutes 55 seconds and is copyrighted 1969. Side 2 runs 24 minutes 25 seconds and is copyrighted 1970. It is released NFL Films Video NFL LV 001 1. And it has a sticker on it of $26.95, but I paid $3 for it. Okay, I looked this up in several book movie guides that I have, and it's not in any of them, although I could find it at IMDb. Anyway, Joanne Woodward and Brian Dennehy in Foreign Affairs. This was a cutout bin special at some point, but I don't really care because I myself bought a lot of cutouts back in the day, because otherwise LaserDiscs were too expensive for me. I rarely paid full price. I paid full price for its Mad 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 World box set, and for a few other things. That was rare. It's only when I saw something and thought I had a heart attack because I saw it on LaserDisc that I paid full price. Okay, that pop-up keeps popping up. Pop down. Okay. This is, we may have this on LaserDisc already. I don't know. But we do have it on DVD, and we do have it on VHS. My wife loves this movie. The Jewel of the Nile. Still has its original shrink wrap on it. It did. It's too loose for my liking. If it gets too loose, air can get between the shrink wrap and the jacket. And when that happens, you could wind up, if I had done that and peeled off part of the artwork, you would have seen what I was getting ready to say. Director of Photography, Jan de Pont. How about that? This is CBS Fox video release 1491-80. Read the Avon paperback. Well, maybe, maybe not. I used to, and still have a rather large collection of books. I collected both books that were adapted into films and books that were novelizations of films. But I stopped doing that after a while. But some of the novelizations are actually better than the films. Okay. I've seen this one online on DVD with an inoffensive cover. This one has an offensive cover, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. The Jolson Story. I have another movie that dramatizes his career that does not have this offensive cover either. So I don't know why RCA Columbia went that route, but they did. This is RCA Columbia Pictures Home Video Release 30686. Okay. Don't know why I bought this, other than the fact that it was there. It was $3 and it was factory sealed. Still is. Much Ado About Nothing. Now maybe somebody out there will say, hey, that's a really good film. Maybe not. This is Columbia TriStar Home Video Release 71756. I have been watching so many DVDs lately because I've been getting so many DVDs in, and I don't want to get too far behind on my watching. Okay, The Name of the Rose. Sean Connery. Paid $3 for this one, even though it's marked $39.95. From Embassy Home Entertainment. This is release 13426. I thought I saw something momentarily. I'm not seeing it now. Well, I'm not seeing it on the back. It says copyright 1986, 20th Century Fox. Oh, come on. But then one of the DVDs I got recently, the film was produced by Paramount. The DVD was published by Paramount, but it was distributed by Warner Home Video. I cannot keep up with why companies keep changing that sort of thing. I can understand why MGM doesn't distribute their own films because they're cash poor most of the time. But Paramount? This still has its original shrink wrap on it, but it's not factory sealed. Nate and Hayes. Paramount Home Video Release LV1549. Now I'm going to go ahead and stop now because this video is getting too long, and it's going to take 3.5 years to upload anyway. But I've still got that many in here, and then I have another bag just like this one that's full of LaserDisc. But I'm thinking I might do either Betamax next. I could do Video 2000 next. I could do the Disney collector pins next because my wife went to Disney over the past weekend. I can't go on day trips anymore for health reasons. But anyway, she picked me up some Disney collector pins, including an entire set of collector pins that are pass holder exclusives. You have to prove that you're an annual pass holder to be able to buy them. And these are from 2013, not 2014. She didn't say, because she didn't know how many were left. But she also mentioned, I believe I mentioned in a previous video, well I know I did, that I have a collector's guide that pictures over 17,000 different Disney collector pins. It's volume 1. I never have seen volume 2. My wife saw volume 2. But she didn't get it because she said it looked like it had been through a couple of world wars. And she knows how particular I am about books. When I read a book, I open it like this and I read it like this so I don't crack the spine. That's how anal I am. Anyway, until next time, stay awesome. As I said, this is a French film from 1961, I think. If I'm not mistaken, the English language title for this film is And God Created Woman, and from what little French I know, that seems to bear out from the title there. Notice how they carefully placed each strand of red hair that passed the Japanese censors. But those are my favorite kind of covers, whether they're LaserDisc or any other format. Painted covers rather than just photos. This is your typical label on a VHD caddy. VHB-78010. Oh, I didn't think of doing that before. It's much easier to see. Single-sided insert, but it opens up. Even if I didn't collect the VHD format, which I do, because I have a VHD player, I would buy this one just to have that cover. Now they're still finding previously unknown VHD releases. I'm hoping they'll find a previously unknown 3D release, because I have a 3D player and I have the 3D headgear. There are only 22 known 3D titles, although one is Alfred Hitchcock's last film. It's in 3D. And there was some porn released on VHD in 3D. But I don't know why my mind went there. But anyway, I'm hoping they'll come across some more 3D titles, but I'm not holding my breath on that. But they're still finding titles all the time, just like they're still finding titles that were previously unknown for the LaserDisc format and also for HD DVD. They're not finding too many digital VHS releases anymore. They still occasionally find one, but really strange. Digital VHS was released, well, developed by JVC, and the only pre-records known to exist are in America. Apparently there weren't any pre-records anywhere else. Okay, this next VHD release, as is usually the case with VHDs and Japanese release LaserDiscs, there are inserts. Well, there's an insert for this one. A reproduction of the cover in black and white with Japanese text underneath and on the back. Now, I'm going to show you the label on the caddy because it's a little unusual. All the other caddies I've run across have had rather plain labels on them, but this one is rather colorful. Now, they continue the practice of giving you the running time for each side. Side 1 runs 56 minutes 0 seconds, side 2 43 minutes 43 seconds. Now they give the catalog number here, ODG-1090, but also a separate catalog number for each side, ODG-1090-1 and -2, and then on the back. If you're not familiar with this format, but are familiar with the CED format, they're both capacitance disc formats, but this format is vastly superior. No grooves, no skipping, and as old as some of these discs are, they play perfectly. And like I said, this one is stunning. But it had me wishing I understood French. We're kind of a weird family. My youngest daughter is studying Japanese. My eldest daughter is becoming quite fluent in Spanish. My wife speaks French as a second language. And I'm studying German and Japanese and French and Latin. Figure if I'm going to fail, I might as well do it big. Okay, this is Victor release. I already told you. Okay, this next one is a French film also. And if you thought that cover was stunning, this one is even more stunning. I like it because it's not a photo, it's a painting. Although, well, I'll show it to you. Hello YouTubers, this is Cessna Ace back again with another VideoDisc ads video, this time concentrating on the VHD and LaserDisc formats. All of the VHDs naturally came from Japan because that was the only country the VHD format was released in, and some of the LaserDiscs came from Japan. I'm going to start with the VHD format because it's been a while since I last showed any VHDs. This first one, I spot checked all three of these and they play perfectly. But this first one I watched in its entirety. It's a French film. It retains its French language track and has Japanese subtitles, but I was able to follow it okay. For some strange reason, the cover caught my eye. I believe this film originally came out in '66 or '67. But as I stated, the picture quality of this disc is stunning. Okay,